Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Scha Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chakshurunaitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Varatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwaguruncha Divyad Bhagavad Prem Noe Bijapradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambudim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Banshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Nama. We're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Antya-lila, chapter 6, the meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath das Goswami. Text 1. Kripa gunar ya kugrihanda kupad udritya bhangya Raghunatha dasam nyasa swarupe viradentaram gam Sri Krishna Chaitanyam amum prapadye. With the ropes of his causeless mercy, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed a trick to deliver Raghunath das Goswami from the blind well of contemptible family life. He made Raghunath das Goswami one of his personal associates, placing him under the charge of Swarup Damodar Goswami. I offer my obeisances unto him. So, normally we'll hear of the Grihastha ashram, but here in this Sanskrit verse it speaks of Kugriha. Kugriha andakupad. That for Raghunath das Goswami, he is not, family life was not the Grihastha ashram. It's like, for him, he's seeing his involvement in family life as being entrapped in a blind well. So he is trying to leave that situation and go be with Mahaprabhu. He wanted to join with Mahaprabhu and live with him. He did not want to have a family. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Charya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Emata Gaura Chandra Bhakta Gana Sanghe Nila Chale Nana Lila Kori Nana Range. Thus Lord Gaurachandra performed various pastimes with his associates at Jagannath Puri and varieties of transcendental pleasure. Jajapiyantare Krishna Viyoga Bharaye Bahirena Prakashaya Bhakta Dukkha Bhaye. Although Mahaprabhu felt pangs of separation from Krishna, he did not manifest his feelings externally, for he feared the unhappiness of his devotees. Utkata virahaduka jabe bahirai tabe jay Vaikaya Prabhur Varnana Najai. The transformations undergone by the Lord when he manifested severe unhappiness due to separation from Krishna cannot be described. Ramananda Krishna Kata Swaruparagan Viraha Vedanaya Prabhu Rakaye Paran. When the Lord felt pangs, when the Lord acutely felt pangs of separation from Krishna, only Sri Ramananda Roy talks about Krishna, and the sweet songs of Swarup Damodar kept him alive. So Ramananda Roy would recite verses and talk about Krishna, and Swarup Damodar would sing sweet songs about Radha and Krishna. Dine Prabhu Nana Sange Hoy Anyaman Ratri Kale Bare Prabhu Viraha Vedan. Because the Lord associated with various devotees during the day, his mind was somewhat diverted, but at night the pangs of separation from Krishna increased very rapidly. Tarasuka Hetu Sange Rahedui Jana Krishna Rasa Shloka Gite Korana Santvana. Two people, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, stay with the Lord to pacify him by reciting various verses about Krishna's pastimes and by singing appropriate songs for his satisfaction. Sabal Jai Che Purve Krishna Sukara Sahai Gorasuka Danak Hetu Taiche Ramarai. Previously, when Lord Krishna was personally present, Subal, one of his cowherd boyfriends, gave him happiness when he felt separation from Radharani. Similarly, Ramananda Roy helped give happiness to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purve Jaiche Radhara Lalita Sahapradan Taiche Sarup Gosai Rake Mahaprabhur Pran. Previously, when Srimati Radharani felt the pangs of separation from Krishna, her constant companion, Lalita, kept her alive by helping her in many ways. Similarly, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt Radharani's emotions, Swarup Damodar helped him maintain his life. So here the point is that Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. Mahaprabhu is both Krishna internally, and he's covered with the feelings and the beauty, the luster of Srimati Radharani. So from the aspect of Krishna, when he's feeling separation from Srimati Radharani, then Ramananda Roy is giving him comfort. And when he's showing the mood of Radharani and feeling separation from Krishna, then Swarup Damodar, serving like the purpose of Lalita, is giving Mahaprabhu satisfaction. So Ramananda Roy, when Krishna's feeling separation, especially Krishna's separation from Radharani, and Ramananda Roy helping when Radharani's feeling separation from Krishna, because both aspects are there in Mahaprabhu. So previously, when Lord Krishna was personally present, Subal, one of his cowherd boyfriends, gave him happiness when he felt separation from Radharani. Similarly, Ramananda Roy helped give happiness to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Previously, when Srimati Radharani felt the pangs of separation from Krishna, her constant companion Lalita kept her alive by helping her in many ways. Similarly, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt Radharani's emotions, Swarup Damodar helped him maintain his life. Edui Janara Sobhagya Kahana Najai Prabhura Antaranga Boli Jari Loke Gai. To describe the fortunate position of Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar is extremely difficult. They were renowned as intimately confidential friends of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Emata Vihare Gora Loya Bhaktagan Raghunath Milana Ebe Shuna Bhaktagan. The Lord thus enjoyed his life with his devotees. O devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now hear how Raghunath das Goswami met the Lord. One thing I should also say, when it says, previously when Lord Krishna was personally present, Subal, one of his cowherd boyfriends, gave him happiness when he felt separation from Radharani. Similarly, Ramananda Roy helped give happiness to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's not saying that Ramananda Roy is Subal. It's just saying that Ramananda Roy is helping when Mahaprabhu feels separation from Radharani. And Swarup Damodar is helping when Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna. Mm-hmm. Purve Shanti Pure Raghunath Chabeaila Mahaprabhu Kripa Kore Tare Shikaila. When Raghunath Das, during his family life, went to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Shantipur, the Lord gave him worthy instructions by his causeless mercy. Prabhu Shikate Tehon Nijagare Jai Markata Vairagya Chadi Hoila Vishaye Prai. Instead of becoming a so-called renunciant, Raghunath Das, following the instructions of the Lord, returned home and played exactly like a pounds and shillings man. So, Markata Vairagya literally means monkey renunciation. So instead of just acting and dismissing everything and just acting as somebody who cannot function in society, in other words, false renunciation, Mahaprabhu advised Raghunath to not cause so much problem by rejecting everything. So Raghunath Das is advised to act like a normal person, or here is described as a pound and shillings man. That means someone who can maintain a living, who can work. Bitare vairagya bahire kore sarva karma dekiya tamata pitar anandita mana. Raghunath Das was inwardly completely renounced, even in family life, but he did not express his renunciation externally. Instead, he acted just like an ordinary businessman. Seeing this, his father and mother were satisfied. This was following the advice of Mahaprabhu. Mathura hoite Prabhu aila, Varta jabe paila, Prabhu pas chalibare, Udyoga korila. When he received a message that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had returned from Mathura city, Raghunath Das endeavored to go to the lotus feet of the Lord. Hinakale mulukera ek mulecha adhikari saptagram mulukera se hoy chodari. At the time, there was a Muslim official collecting the taxes of Shaptagram. Hiranyadas Mulakanila Makrari Korea Tara Adhikara Gela Mare Sedekia. Formerly, when the Muslim government was in power, the person-appointed tax collector would collect the taxes of the local zamindars or landholders. He would keep 1/4 of the collection for himself as a profit, and the balance he would deliver to the treasury of the government. So it's the Muslim government, and there was a Muslim official collecting the taxes of Saptagram for the government, who was also a Muslim. But Hiranyadas Mulukara, Haranyadas Muluka Nila Makrari Korea, Tara Adhikara Gela Mare Sedekia. When Hiranyadas, Raghunath Das's uncle, made an agreement with the government to collect taxes, the Muslim Chowdhury, or tax collector, having lost his position, became extremely envious of him. So an arrangement was made with Hiranyad, that's Raghunath das Goswami's uncle, that he would collect the taxes instead of the Muslim Chowdhury. And then the Muslim government made that arrangement because they knew that Hiranyadas would be able to collect taxes from the Hindus more effectively than the Muslim would be able to. So they gave that position to Hiranyadas, and then the Muslim Chowdhury lost his job and he was envious. So, Baralaka Deya Rajai Shade Bishalaka Se Turuk Kichuna Paya Hoila Pratipaka. Hiranyadas was collecting 2 million coins and therefore should have delivered 1,500,000 to the government. Instead, he was giving only 1,200,000, thus making an extra profit of 300,000 coins. Seeing this, the Muslim Chowdhury, who was a Turk, became his rival. So the tax collector is allowed to keep 1/4 of the taxes and give to the government 3/4. But Raghunath Das's uncle wasn't giving 3/4 of the collection. He was keeping an extra 300,000 coins, gold coins. He should have been giving 1,500,000 out of 2 million. And instead, he was only giving 1,200,000. He's keeping an extra 300,000 coins. But the Muslim who was his rival knew that. Rajagare Kaifiyat Dia Ujjare Anila Hiranyadas Palaila Raghunathare Bandila. After sending a confidential account to the government treasury, the Chowdhury brought the minister in charge. The Chowdhury came wanting to arrest Hiranyadas, but Hiranyadas had left home. Therefore, the Chowdhury arrested Raghunath Das. So Raghunath's uncle, his father, they're living together because that's the Hindu custom that they all live the brothers live in the house of the father with their wives. So they came to that house to arrest Hiranyadas, but he wasn't there. So instead, they found Raghunath Das there and they arrested him. Pratidin Raghunath Koraye Barsana Bapad Jetare Ana Nahi Paibad Jatana. Every day the Muslim would chastise Raghunath Das and tell him, "Bring your father and his elder brother, otherwise you will be punished." Marite ananye jadi deki Raghunate manafire jayatabe separe marite. The Chowdhury wanted to beat him, but as soon as he saw Raghunatha's face, his mind changed and he could not beat him. The Muslim Chowdhury wants to exert his position and try and get some money, and he wants to beat Raghunath Das, but when he sees Raghunath Das's face, he can't do that. So he can't beat it. He can't beat him. Visheshe kayashta buje antare koridana muke tarche garje marite sabai antara. Indeed, the Chowdhury was afraid of Raghunath Das because Raghunath Das belonged to the Kayasta community. Although the Chowdhury would chastise him with oral vibrations, he was afraid to beat him. Raghunath Das belonged to a very aristocratic family of the Kayasta community. He had a substantial influence with the local people, and therefore the Chowdhury, our minister, was afraid to beat him. Superficially, he would chastise Raghunath Das with threatening vibrations, but he did not beat him. The members of the Kayasta community in India are generally very intelligent and expert in business management. Formerly, they were mostly government officers. They were mentioned even by Yajnavalkya, as quoted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. Chata Taskara Durvitar Maha Sahasikadibi Pidyamana Prajarakshat Kayastais Cha Visheshata. From this verse, it appears that the government officials of the Kayasta community would sometimes chastise the citizens, and thus it was the duty of the king to protect the people in general from the atrocities of the Kayastas. In Bengal, the Kayasta community is honored almost as much as the Brahmin community, but in the upcountry of India, the Kayastas are considered Shudras because they generally eat meat and drink wine. In any case, from history, the Kayastas appear very intelligent. Thus, the Muslim Chaudhary was afraid of Raghunath Das because he belonged to the Kayasta community. So the Kayasta community was powerful, and the Chaudhary was afraid of that community, which Raghunath Das belonged to. Tabe Raghunatha Kichu Chintila Upai Binati Korea Kohe Semulechabai. While this was going on, Raghunath Das thought of a tricky method of escape. Thus he humbly submitted this plea at the feet of the Muslim Chaudhary. Amara Pita Jeshta Hoy Tomara Dui Bai Baye Baye Tomar Kolaha Kara Sarvadai. My dear sir, my father and his elder brother are your brothers. All brothers always fight about something. So naturally, Raghunath Das giving the argument that my father and my uncle are also your brothers. And it's natural that brothers sometimes fight. Kabu kolaha kabu prite ihar nischaynai kalipuna tinabai hoiba ektai. Sometimes brothers fight among themselves, and sometimes they have very friendly dealings. There is no certainty when such change will take place. Thus I am sure that although today you are fighting, tomorrow you three brothers will be sitting together in peace. Ami jaiche pitara, taiche tomara balak, ami tomar balya, tumi amara balak. Just as I am my father's son, so I am also yours. I am your dependent, and you are my maintainer. Palakaya pauyere tadite jujai tumi sarva shastrajan jinda pirabrai. For a maintainer to punish the person he maintains is not good. You are expert in all the scriptures. Indeed, you are like a living saint. He says to the Muslim tax collector, you are expert in all the scriptures. Indeed, you are like a living saint. Eta shuni se mulechera mana ardra hoila dari bahi ashrupare kandite lagila. When the Muslim heard Raghunath Das's appealing voice, his heart softened. He began to cry, and tears glided down his beard. So what this is saying is, basically, Raghunath Das is saying, there's no need for my father and my uncle to fight with you. You're like brothers. Sometimes brothers fight, but sometimes they're not fighting. So what he's saying is, we can reach some agreement where you get something and we get something. So, it's like this kind of bargaining, we know, views very much when dealing with people in position. This is like a way of offering somebody nicely a bribe. You are like a living saint. You know all the scriptures, so we can make some kind of arrangement. Mulecha boli aji hasite tumi mora putra aji charaimu Toma Kori Ek Sutra. The Muslim Chaudhary told Raghunath Das, you are my son from this day on. Today, by some means, I shall have you released. Ujire Kohiya Raghunath de Chadaila Priti kore Raghunate kohite lagila. After informing the minister, the Chaudhary released Raghunath Das and then began to speak to him with great affection. Tomara jeshta nirbudi ashta lakakai amibagi amare kichu divare jujai. Your father's elder brother is less intelligent, he says. Your uncle is less intelligent. He enjoys 800,000 coins, but since I am also a shareholder, he should give some portion of it to me. He's getting 800,000 coins, but since I'm also involved in this, then I should get part of this. I could get some portion. Ja tumi tomar jetare milaha amare jemate balo hoy karuna bara diluntare. Now you go arrange a meeting between me and your uncle. Let him do whatever he thinks best. I shall completely depend on his decision. Raghunath ashitabe jetare milaila mulecha sahita basa koila sub shanta hoila. Raghunath Das arranged a meeting between his uncle and the Chaudhary. The matter was settled and everything was peaceful. So this is the way things are done. He made some arrangement where the Chaudhary would get some money too, and then things became peaceful. Emata Raghunathara Batsare Kagela Dvitiya Batsare Balaite Manak Koila. In this way, Raghunath Das passed 1 year exactly like a first-class business manager, but the next year he again decided to leave home. Ratre uti ekela chalila palaya dura hointe pitatare anila doria. He got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back. So, for 1 year, Raghunath Das is acting as a good, very intelligent businessman. But after 1 year, he's tired of being a businessman. He now again decides he wants to be with Mahaprabhu. So he got up alone one night and left. Ratriute ekala chalila palaya dura hoite pita tare anila daria. He got up one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back, because his father would send men to catch up with Raghunath and bring him back. Emate bare bare balaya doriane tabe tara mata kohe tara pita sane. This became almost a daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home and his father would again bring him back. Then Raghunath Das's mother spoke to his father as follows. Putra batula hoila ihaya rakaha bandiya tarapita kohetare nirvina hoya. Chapter about Raghunath das Goswami. We're in verse number 38. Putra batula hoila ihai rakaha bandiya tarapita kohetare nirvina hoya. Our son has become mad, she said. Raghunath Das's mother talking to his father. Our son has become mad, she said. Just keep him by binding him with ropes. His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows. Indra sama Aishvarya Stri Apsara sama E Saba Bandite Nari Leka Jaramana. Raghunath Das, our son, has opulences like Indra, the heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an angel, as an Apsara. Yet all this could not tie down his mind. So his mother wants to have Raghunath Das tied up with ropes or chains. But his father said, says, but just look what's Raghunath Das's situation. He has so much money, he's like Indra. And he has a wife who's as beautiful as an apsara, as a heavenly angel. Yet all this could not tie down his mind. Dadira bandhane tare rakiba ke mate janmadata pitanare prarabdha kandaite. How then could we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? It is not possible even for one's father to nullify the reactions of one's past activities. He said he should already be tied up because he has so much money and he has a beautiful wife. This would be enough to tie up anyone. But Raghunath Das can't be tied physically by ropes. And it's not possible for a father to nullify what is the karma of his son. Here he says, it's not possible for a father to cancel out prarabdha, the reaction of one's previous activities. In this case, Raghunath Das is sukriti. His father can't stop him, in other words, what he's saying. Can't cancel out what is Raghunath's sukriti, is the results of his previous activities. Chaitanya Chandra Kripa Hayat She Ihare Chaitanya Chandra Batula Ke Rakite Pare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy on him. Who can keep home such a madman as Chaitanya? Who can keep home such a madman of Chaitanya Chandra? Raghunath Das has already, Mahaprabhu has given his full mercy to Raghunath Das. Then how are you going to keep him tied down? How are you going to keep him under control? Because he's become, how can you keep home such a madman of Chaitanya Chandra? That Raghunath Das has become mad due to Mahaprabhu's mercy upon him. He's become mad with love of Godhead. Tabe Raghunatha Kichu Vichari Lamane Nityananda Gosaira Basha Chalila Aradine. Then Raghunath Das considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Gosai. Panihati Grame Paila Prabhur Darshan Kirtaniya Seva Kange Arabahujan. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others. Nityananda was visiting Panihati. Ganga tire brika mule pindarupare vasiyachin janakoti suryodoya kare. Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds of thousands of rising suns. Tale upare bahu bhakta hayache beshtita deki prabhura prabhava raghunatha vishmita. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished. Dandavat hoya se parila katadure sevako he Raghunath dandavat kore. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place, and the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, "There's Raghunath Das offering you obeisances." Shuni Prabhu kohe chira-dadhi darshan I ajitora korimu dandan. Hearing this, Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are a thief. Now you have come to see me. Come here, come here. Today I shall punish you." Prabhu bolaya teho nikatana korigaman akarshyatara mate Prabhu darila charan. The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head. Katuki Nityananda Sahajadoyamoy Raghunathe Kohekichu Haya Sadoy. Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das's foes. Nikatena Aisha Chora Bagadure Dure Ajilag Payachi Dandimu Tomare. You're just like a thief, for instead of coming near, you stay away at a distant place. Now that I have captured you, I shall punish you. Why you stay so far away? You're just like a thief, but now I've caught you. Dari Chira Bakana Koraha Morgane Shunyanandita Hoila Raghunatha Mane. Make a festival and feed all my associates yogurt and chira. Chira is like rice flakes. Here it says chipped rice, but it's like rice flakes. It's soaked in water, made soft, and then it's mixed with yogurt or milk. Make a festival and feed all my associates yogurt and chira. Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Sekane Nijalok Pataila Grame Bakya Drabya Loka Sab Grama Hoitane. Raghunath Das immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of eatables and bring them back. Chira-dadhi, dugda sandesh, arachini kala, sabadravya, ananya, charike-dadila. Raghunath Das brought chira, or chip rice, or ripe flakes. He brought chira, yogurt, milk, sandesh, or sweetmeats, sugar, bananas, and other eatables, and placed them all around. Mahotsava nama shuni, brahmana sajan, ashite lagila lok, asankhya ganan. As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of Brahmins and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people. Aragramantara hoite samagri anila shataduichari hona taha anila. Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more eatables from other villages. He also brought 200 to 400 large round earthen pots. Bora Bora Mrit Kundika Anaila Panchashate Ekvipra Prabhu Lage Chira Bijay Tate. He also obtained 5 to 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a Brahmin began soaking the chira for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. Again, as I've said, chira is like rice flakes, just like corn flakes. People will soak them in milk to make them soft. So with the rice, this is not rice that has to be cooked. It's already been partially cooked and made into flakes, and then you can just soak it, and then it will become soft. And then you can mix it with milk or yogurt, and that's quite often in the Mat and Navadip, in the morning, they would serve this chira, or the rice flakes, soaked and then mixed with yogurt, and then they would give a banana and some gur or sugar for the rice flakes, and that would be like a cereal for everyone to eat. He also obtained 5 to 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a Brahmin began soaking chira for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. Ektai tapta dugde chira bijaya Ardeka, Chanila, Duri, Chini, Kaladia. In one place, chipped rice was soaked in hot milk in each of the large pots. Then half the rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. Ara Ardeka, Ganavrita, Dugdeti, Chanila, Chapakala, Chini, Grita, Karpura, Tatidila. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as champakala. Then sugar, clarified butter, and camphor were added. I'm making preparations of this chira, soaked chira, some with milk and some with yogurt. And also with sugar, ghee, and camphor were added. We've also had that many times in temples that I would visit to, or where many temples where I lived even, they would make sweet rice with camphor. But they wouldn't use camphor, they wouldn't use little camphor pellets. Generally they would use raw camphor, which was like a powder. So just a little bit to give it a taste. Jyutipari Prabhu Jari Pindate Basila Shatakundi Vipratara Agete Darila. After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his cloth for a new one and sat on a raised platform, the Brahmins brought before him the 7 huge pots. So they brought all the chira that was mixed with milk and some mixed with yogurt. Chabuto parijata prabhur nijagane bora bora log vasila mandali bachane. Chabutaru parijata prabhur nijagane bora bora log vasila mandali rachane. On that platform, all the most important associates of Nityananda Prabhu, as well as other important men, sat down in a circle around the Lord. It was a big festival. And it's celebrated every year. It's in the calendar. Panihati chira-dadhi-mahotsava. This is when Raghunath das especially satisfied Nityananda Prabhu and got his blessings to go leave his family and go to see Mahaprabhu and be with Mahaprabhu in Puri. Ramadas, Sundarananda, Dasagaradhar, Murari Kamalakara, Sadashiva Purandar. Among them were Ramadas, Sundarananda, Gadadhar Das, Murari, Kamalakara, Sadashiva and Purandar. So this is Gadadhar Das. He's different than Gadadhar Pandit. These are Nityananda Prabhu's associates. Dhananjaya Jagadisha Parameshwara Das, Mahesh Gauri Das, Hora Krishna Das, Dhananjaya Jagadish, Parameshwara Das, Mahesh Gauri Das, and Hora Krishna Das were also there. So this is Gauri Das Pandit. He's also a famous devotee of Nityananda Prabhu. And his deities of Gauri Das Pandit, of Gaur Nityananda, they're worshipped in Kalna. Udarana datta adi jatani jagan upare basila sab ke kore ganan. Similarly, Udara, Datta Thakur, and many other personal associates of the Lord sat on the raised platform with Nityananda Prabhu. No one could count them. Shri Pandit Bhattacharya Jata Vipra Aila Manyakori Prabhu Savare Upare Basaila. hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, or all kinds of Pandits, Brahmins, and Pandita Bhattacharya, Brahmin Pandits, and priests went there, Jatavipraila. Lord Nityananda Prabhu honored them and made them sit down on the raised platform with him. Dui dui mrit kundika sabar agedila, eke dugda chira are dadi chira kaila. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots, and one was put chipped rice with condensed milk, and in the other chipped rice with yogurt. So we should say, and one was put chira with milk, and then the other was chira with yogurt. So I'm also going to end here. But here, I'll just finish this page. Arajata lok sab chotara talane mandali bande basila tarana hoy ganane. All the other people sat in groups around the platform. No one could count how many people there were. Ekeka janare dui honadila dare chira dugda chira duite bajaila. Each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots, one of chira soaked in yogurt and the other of chira soaked in condensed milk. So tomorrow I'll continue. All right. For now, we'll sing Hari Harai. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Ganadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Ganadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaoite Vignana Shabishta Puran. Jaoite Vignana Shabishta Puran. H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. Tasabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras. Tasabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame More Abilas. Janame More Abilas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas, Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas, Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamudas, Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamudas, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmamacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai, Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai, Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Sokel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna, Go Gopi Govardhan, Shyam Kuna Radhakunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.